How you doing? It's Doug Ellin. I'm host of the Victory, the podcast, and you are listening to the Eddie Mata Show. Enjoy.
Here we have it, the man of the hour. He had a hit show back in 2004 that everybody fell in love with. He's got a Victory podcast and another podcast. Please welcome the Long Island Kid, Doug Ellin, in the house. How are you, baby?
Good. What's happening?
Doug, why are you delayed, my man?
You mean, why am I moving weird?
No, because your synchronization with your... Okay, speak right now.
Hello, hello, hello.
All right, yeah, you're good right now. Yeah, you were so clear before.
I don't know. I'm moving strangely in my screen. You look fine, but I'm like all frozen.
You're all frozen. You know what you do? I'm gonna you can hang up and just call again, and it'll be clear. Don't worry about that. The show'll still be on. Just hang up and call right back on the link.
Hang up and call again. Let's
Yeah.
see. How do I hang up?
Where's the end? Hold on, I'll tell you right now.
Hang-
All right, so Doug, let me ask you this. All right, when you were a kid, did you always want to be in Hollywood? Did you have that dream? What was it like being a kid?
I mean, I always kind of had that dream, but I never did anything about it. So, I didn't know anyone in film or TV, and my family was very, education and professionalism, like lawyer or something like that. So I kind of, all of my things were moving towards that. I went to Tulane in New Orleans, and I was planning on going to law school. And about 2 weeks before college ended, I decided I'm moving to LA when I graduate, and I'm going to start doing stand-up comedy, which my parents were thrilled about. So that was my story.
But what was the cause? Did you see a comedian that you fell in love with?
No, I mean, I loved movies and TV my whole life. I mean, those were, I was obsessed with comedy and, Seinfeld to Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, everybody. So, that's what I wanted to do, but I just didn't really know how to pursue it back then. It was just didn't seem like even a possibility. So,
Right. So when you were in Tulane University, what made you pick that school?
my brother actually went there. I went down to visit. A lot of people from New York go there. I think it's like far enough away, but not too crazy far away. But New Orleans is such a great town, and Tulane was just a great school. And I love the food and the music and the culture, so that's where I went.
Shit, Doug, you're fucking delayed again, man. Are you hardwired or no?
I am
No, you're good.
hardwired.
You're good right now. Stay there. Yeah. It's not mine because my internet's 500 MB.
I just got off the foreplay pod 2 seconds before this.
Okay.
We were all smooth. I don't know.
So now at Tulane, because your brother went there and you studied, was it law?
No, I don't know what I studied. I was an English major, and I was planning to go to law school, but I was liberal arts basically. I'm not sure what I learned while I was in college, but I decided I was not going to law school as I graduated. So
When you told your parents, look, you know what? I want to go to Hollywood. I want to make films. I want to be a comedian. What was their reaction?
they were horrified. I mean, my parents worked their asses off to get me into college and to be able to pay for it to go where I wanted, and set up some opportunities for me. I think they were scared to death that what was going to happen to me. So, but I went, and they were supportive, and I ended up making a short film, got into the American Film Institute. I went there for a year, and when I came out, I got offered my first movie, which was a small movie, but we made it. We sold it to a studio, and kept rolling from there.
You know, when you were in high school, did you Steve Levy from ESPN and Adam Schefter went to the same high school you went to?
Nice school. Yeah, we had a good crew over there. Yep.
Holy shit! Look at you. I mean, were
Yep.
they your age or no?
They are a year or two older, but I dated Adam's sister. I think she might have been my prom date. Marnie was a great girl, but yeah, Adam and Steve are awesome, and I still keep in touch with them. But they were a little older.
Now check this out. This guy named Mike DeLuca. How'd you convince him to give you $10,000 for your first film or your second film?
Well, I did stand up shows to raise money for it, and I was in the mailroom at New Line Cinema, and Mike was the VP at the time. He's now an Oscar winning producer, but he came to the show and he liked what I did, and he gave me a check. I didn't even ask him for it, and he said, I remember he said it was either this or a new motorcycle, and that was, we all need like that one break that we get where somebody like that, looks at a young person and decides to help. And Mike was awesome. So when we made that film, we actually sold it to Showtime. That's the film that got me into the American Film Institute and really started my whole career. I had David Schwimmer, pretty friends in that, Johnny Silverman, Ernie Hudson, from Oz and Ghostbusters and a million other things, and Helen Martin, who's was a great actor, and it was a lot of fun, and we got lucky that Mike was willing to do that.
Oh, that's because he's a Brooklyn boy. He's from my hood, Canarsie, Brooklyn.
I mean, I'm not. I didn't grow up in Brooklyn, but I was born in Brooklyn, and my
Yes.
parents are from Brooklyn. So
So with so after DeLuca, now but hold on a minute. When you were New Cinema, right? And you're working the
New Line.
mail New Line. Sorry, when you were New Line working there at the mailroom, did you like feel like, damn, I'm such a loser? Like did you have that feeling like because everybody's gonna look at you at like the
No,
downness,
everybody starts there. The biggest guys in the business start in the mailroom. I mean, I was 22 years old, and I was just trying to figure out what I was going to do. I mean, to be honest with you, I wasn't there long. I actually got in a fight with somebody. I was only there about 6 weeks, but so I did okay. The mailroom worked out very well for me, but it's worked out well for everybody. I mean, if you're from Ari Emanuel to
Yeah.
Mike Ovitz, they all started there.
Wait, so you had a fight after 6 weeks already? I mean, were you fist fight?
No, I was. I just I played a late night poker game, and I came in early, and I was in a mood. But this VP, I forget her name, Marjorie, some shit or other. But she came storming out of her office, and I was pushing my mail cart, and she banged into me with her coffee and literally spilled coffee on me. And she screams like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I go, "What the fuck are you doing?" And it was like one of those movie silences. The entire place went silent, and everybody looked at me. And I was like, I guess I got to leave, which I did. But I still managed to end up. I was friends with some people there. I ended up shooting the short film a few weeks later there. And in 2021, I'm pretty sure you can't spill coffee on the mailroom kid and scream at him. But back then it was like it was okay, I guess.
Yeah, well, I think back then was better because, I tell people when people criticize you, that means they care about you. Simple as that.
Yeah.
You know? it's-
Yeah, well, I don't want coffee spilled on me. I don't really care whether they like me or not.
Well,
I
of
don't want.
course not. We don't want that situation.
Yeah.
All right, so now when David Schwimmer back then, I mean, he was just a regular guy, right? He wasn't blown up yet.
Yeah, he still is a regular guy, but yeah, he was. He auditioned for my first short film, and my friend brought him in, who played softball with him. Said, "I got this guy. He'll be great for this." He did one line, and I remember it like it was yesterday. I'm like, this guy is going to be a huge superstar, and we've made a few shorts after that. Wrote a couple of scripts together, and then he did a feature, and then he was also on Entourage. So he's been a good friend for a long time.
So you're telling me one line, and you were like, "Holy shit, this is the guy."
100%. Same thing happened with Kevin Dillon on Entourage. Like I just, I knew that I had something that I was lucky to have them.
Speaking of Entourage, who had a straight offer? Who had a straight offer as far as the actors?
Piven.
And that's it.
That's it. Yeah. No, everyone else auditioned. Um, it's a process. And HBO. I mean, even when I did, the show I did after Entourage. I mean, HBO made Michael Imperioli audition, which was absurd. But yeah, most people are auditioning for HBO shows.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that about HBO. I thought it was
Or
like
back then. I don't know. I don't know about now, but back then.
with with Kevin Dillon. Did you remember the audition as far as like what scene was it in the pilot?
Yeah, I completely remember. It was when him saying the line, "You see any parts in there for me, bro," and just the way he brought not only comedy to something, but really an ability to make people really feel for him and care about him. Is just he's amazing. So
You know what I love about the show is the relationships. It could be whether it's a Hollywood guys or it could be tech guys. What I love about how you guys created, how you guys shoot the shit with each other, you know, make fun of each other. That was the best part of it, right? Is that what you felt like in the script?
Yeah, I mean that's what the show was to me. I was writing how me and my friends growing up were, and that's what inspired it. That's what inspired the casting of it, and so that's what we do on Victory the podcast. Also, you see the friendships between me, Conley, and Dylan. I mean, I have that also with the other guys as well when they come on. But that's what the show was. Forgetting all the Hollywood stuff, it was about friendship. It was about these New Yorkers, fish out of water in this weird world with all these Hollywood people, and that's what it was.
Doug, was there anyone else in the cast? Like it was like between Kevin Dillon and someone else, or was it between Kevin Conley and someone else, like another actor? Like there was like a head to head.
There really wasn't. I mean, HBO, we had to bring in two people for each part. You can't like walk in at the time to Chris Albrecht, who was the head of HBO, and go, "This is the guy." You had to bring in backups, but to me, there were no other backups. So it would have been a big problem if HBO was not okay with our cast because we didn't have anybody that we were okay with besides those five guys.
But Doug, HBO, how many years it took you to finalize the script? How many times they told you, no, not good enough, write it again?
A
The pilot.
hundred. So it took almost 2 years from the time we sold it, to them green lighting. Okay, let's go into production, and then it took another probably 2 3 months before they picked it up.
So man, you were like, what the fuck, right? I mean, help me out here, right?
Well, I mean, that's the process. I'm lucky that they let me keep going. Networks at the time, you write a script, they give you some notes, you write it again, and then it's dead if it's not going. So HBO was willing to keep pushing, and obviously it benefited me in the end.
Now, how did you find Jerry?
Steve Levinson was his manager, and he brought him in. Same with Adrian, and Jerry. From the moment I met him, I was like, okay, he's great, but his age difference with Kevin Dillon was a lot, so we were concerned about whether that would make sense. But turned out nobody cared, so they thought they went to high school together. Like, they're 13 years apart.
Doug, the toughest scene in the pilot, was it the one that coming out of the limo with the red carpet and the crowd? Like,
Toughest in terms of what?
as far as filming it?
I don't know. I mean, it's a long time ago. The toughest scene that I can remember was, I mean, I added a scene with Jeremy coming out of the Ivy that we didn't have any permits for. So, and it was something HBO wouldn't have been too thrilled about either. But I was like, fuck it, I'm getting this scene. So I walked Piv into the Ivy in my car, no crew, just a cameraman and a sound guy. And we had him go make a reservation at the Ivy and walk out and do a scene crossing the street. And he almost got hit by a car crossing Robertson, which would have really put a damper on the whole thing. I think that was day one. But, a pilot is always difficult to shoot. You're just getting to know everybody. And we were doing 14, 15-hour days and, trying to find these characters and making sure the script was right. So, but it was a fun shoot, as I remember, for the most part, but long hours for sure.
I think what hit in the pilot was when they're in the house, jumping in the swimming pool, all having a great time. I think that was when the chemistry was like, oh shit, okay, this is gonna go
I mean,
somewhere.
I don't know. I don't even remember what we shot first or not, but like I said, I knew we had the right guys, and now it was just about getting it on film and making sure HBO let us go do it.
Doug, are you a sensitive guy when there's critics saying, this show is whatever, or does that bother you as a creator?
I mean, listen, a lot of people who listen to the podcast think I'm really sensitive about it. I like to clap back because we have an opportunity now where we can. When we came out, you would get a criticism and you'd have to go home and tell your girlfriend or your wife or whatever. But now, we have outlets, whether it's Instagram, podcasts, or whatever. So it's not that I'm sensitive about it. I think they're fucking losers. I think
I totally agree.
I think that critics are the lowest form of anything, and that's from someone. I criticize things too, but the fact that you make that your living to spend your time criticizing stuff, but look, I am very proud of what we did on the show. It was, the New York Times said it was the best show on TV. We were nominated for Emmys and Golden Globes, and President Obama, it was his favorite show.
Yeah.
So when people today, 10 years after the fact, still like to take shots at us, Sure, it bugs me in a certain way, but it bugs me enough that I like to write to them, I like to tweet at them, I like to
I
talk
see
about them on the
that.
podcast. But some people think it affects my life negatively. It actually impacts me positively because we're all New Yorkers, we're battlers, and I like to tell people to go fuck themselves. So when people criticize us, I go right back at them.
But Doug, what is there to criticize about the show? I mean, every person in the
Again,
world.
that's not for me to answer. There's haters of everything of all kinds everywhere, and you go with what it is, and like I said, that's their opinions, and it's my opportunity now to speak back to it. But the show is what it is, and it will be judged however it's judged by whoever watches it. I find it a strange thing, this rewriting history when a show is widely, recognized as a smart, insightful show to then rewrite it as some misogynistic boy show. Of course, it's annoying to me. I mean, we
Right.
busted our ass to make it good, but I know it's not true. So it's more about making other people realize that that's a small minority with big mouths. It's very easy to get on Twitter and talk about how this one did that or this sucks or that sucks, but to actually go out and do something is a lot more difficult.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I mean, same thing in sports when people don't know the fucking game. They talk about baseball. Oh, get rid of Stanton on the Yankees. I'm like, really? How can
Yeah.
you say that?
Yeah.
The guy's carrying the boys. I'm surprised he don't have a hernia on his fucking back, killing the
Right.
baseball right now. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
all right, now and then you had your. What made you cast your kids? That was so adorable. Like that was actually your kids, right?
Yeah, I mean, my son played Ari's son, and my daughter was in a couple episodes. But my son would just hang around, and people thought he was so funny. I didn't really want him to be in the Hollywood business unless that's what he chose later. But I thought it was okay since he wasn't a show that kids were going to see, so people weren't going to see him at school and be like, "Oh God." But he was just funny, and we had him do some stuff with Jeremy where they just improvised stuff, and he was just really funny. So that's how that went about.
Man, now people are saying that Ari Gold portrayed Ari Emanuel. Is that true?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
that's how
I
Ari
didn't
was.
I mean, it didn't portray him, but Ari Emanuel. When I first pitched the show, that's when I met Ari, and I had already written Jeremy playing my agent Jeff Jacobs. And when I got in the meeting with Ari, I was like, okay, this guy's a character. So I changed it to Ari, and I spoke to Ari. I said, I want to model him on you. It's not really him. In
Right,
fact,
right.
it's probably more me. His wife is based on my wife. Her name is Melissa. My son plays their son. But a lot of the stuff that some of the lines that Ari would say, I took directly from Ari Emanuel, and he was very happy and proud of the show.
What year did you guys were nominated for an Emmy?
I mean, almost every year, I think. I don't know.
Even
It's
the
like
first
at
season?
least
You
five or
first.
six. I don't think the first season, but I think pretty much every season after that. So we had 6 Golden Globes in a row. We lost all of them, by the way. But we were like the Buffalo Bills of the Emmys and the Golden Globes. But
Yeah, but I think Piven got one, right?
actors won. Piven won 3. We won a lot of stuff for sound and production. I'm saying for best comedy, we lost I think 5 Emmys, 6 Golden Globes, something like that.
Wow, you compare yourself to the Buffalo Bills. It's too funny.
Well, just in the
Right,
numbers. I mean,
yeah. But Doug, now when you guys are nominated for an Emmy, you guys are well established, right? I mean, wherever you guys go, like, was it like a treat? Like, oh, eat here for free, guys, drinks around the house. We got you. Was it like that?
yeah, I mean, honestly, it hasn't changed that much. We still, we just got, we get flown around, where, like I told you, we're doing these live shows, which are going to be in Long Island, Huntington, and November 20th. Eddie, you better show up. So,
Do I get a ticket on the house or do I have to pay?
we got to pay, man. We got to fucking sell this thing out. We're working stiffs here,
Actually,
trying to make a living.
we're in
Yeah.
Long Island.
The Paramount Theater in Huntington on November 20th. But yeah, it was a lot of that stuff. We got a lot of love around the world, and it was obviously exciting. And it's still, honestly, the show's been off the air for 10 years. It still feels like that. When I walk around with these guys, we were just in Hawaii together. Uh, Kevin Dillon might as well be Elvis. I mean, people freak out when they see him.
I love Kevin Dillon. He's such a great guy. Look, I met all your whole crew. I mean, it was nobody a dick. Even Piven was mad cool with me. You know what I'm saying? We were talking about baseball and stuff like that.
Right. It's a good group. We got a good group, and we're all still friends 20 years later, which is pretty amazing. 17, 18 years later, whatever it is.
Now, we all know Adrian is a good-looking bastard, right? Like, I mean, woman was still going crazy for him when even not the entourage lifestyle, right? Like, just when he was
I
hanging
mean,
out.
he's a great looking guy, but people used to go crazy for all of them. I mean, honestly, women used to come up to the set looking for Turtle all the time. People love Jerry.
Really?
Yeah, women love Jerry, and I mean, second season, I remember all the time there'd be girls coming up to the set and be like, "Where's Turtle? Where's Turtle?" So they're all good looking guys, and they all do
No, they
great.
are.
And
But like, Grenier was the main character, because you know how fans are.
yep. He looked like a movie star. That's why we cast him.
So now, when you cast Adrian, is it because he looked like a movie star? That he had that look that you said, you know what, that's the guy?
Well, I mean, his acting, obviously, also everything about him. He just carried himself the way we wanted. We looked for almost a year for that part. It's a very difficult part to play, and people think it's easy. It's not. And when people watched the show when it first came on the air, they thought it was a documentary. Nobody thought it was a scripted show. They're like, "Who is this guy? Why don't I know him?" So that's a testament to how good the whole cast was. But Adrian, it's very hard to find someone who is believably a movie star and isn't a movie star, which was the case at the time.
Doug, as a director, what do you look when people audition? What do you look for the number one thing? Is it energy? What are you looking for?
I mean, I look for truth. I look for people who make me feel like this is happening. Obviously, energy for our show was important. And I just talked to Piven on his podcast about that because Piven brings an intangible energy that is not just easy to recreate just by being a good actor. He just has that natural meter in him. But I look for people who make me believe they're not acting. Just very simply, I want them to take my words and make me feel like they weren't on a page. And all five of those guys. And honestly, most of the cast that we got all down the line, we got really, really lucky with, and we worked really hard on it. We didn't settle for, just, average actors. And we have some really amazing actors that were on the show over the years.
Doug, what was the schedule like as far as like, okay, so you would write the episodes the whole week and then shoot like that?
I mean, we try to get them finished as early as possible. So season 1 and 2 was a nightmare. We were writing while shooting, and I was writing scenes while we were shooting other scenes, rewriting scenes while they're going. So we started getting it down, I don't know, season 4 or 5, where we would finish all the scripts before production, which made life a lot better and easier.
And you would like stay up all night, right? You and Weiss, Rob, just writing.
I mean, we didn't sleep together, so no. But
I'm just saying.
I spent a lot of nights alone writing. Yes, a lot.
Okay. And then so now it's a hit. Now it's been well established. Are there is HBO offering? Hey, Doug, write some other pilots that we want if you can.
Yeah, I did two pilots when they were over, and HBO completely fucked me on them. One was The Brick with Mike Tyson. I got John Ridley to write it, who won an Oscar a year later. Spike Lee directed it. Found John Boyega before Star Wars. And then the other show I did, I told you earlier, was Eddie Burns, Michael Rappaport, and Michael Imperioli, which the fact that HBO didn't pick it up and picked up some of the garbage that they picked up after that was kind of shocking, but that's what happened. So
Man, I mean, you would think like after Entourage.
that's the way it is. That's the way the town is. You would think a lot of things, but different executives come in with different ideas and different thoughts, and that's what they did. I mean, like I said, they made Michael Imperioli audition to play a New York chiropractor. I mean, that's this guy Michael Lombardo, but to have Michael Imperioli have to audition to play a New Yorker is kind of fucking insane. But and really one of the best actors I've ever worked with that I was really excited to really get going with, and it is what it is, though.
Wow. So, Doug, how old are your kids now?
How what?
How old are your kids now?
My kids are 20 and 18.
Because I'm asking because your son. They're like, oh wow, I remember when you were small on Entourage, right? Like kids come up to him.
It's pretty weird. It's pretty weird how fast it goes, but it's the same for everybody. Time keeps moving.
Doug, what did it take to get the athletes like Tom Brady, Gronkowski, all these big stars? Like, did they accept it right away?
it took Wahlberg calling Tom Brady, and it took Eli not showing up because he was supposed to play that part. And I'm actually doing Eli's podcast next week, which I can finally come back and be a Giants fan again once we make peace, because it's been something that's bothered me for almost a decade now. Because Eli, and we'll talk about it on his podcast, but Eli called me up, said he wanted to be on the show. I wrote a whole script, and then he didn't return my call. So, but we're gonna make peace next week, I hope, and Mark called Brady. Gronk came to the set with somebody and said it's his favorite show. He wanted to be on. I said, you're on. And Julian Edelman, same thing. LeBron called us. And I'm trying to think of all the great athletes that we had. But usually they were just fans of the show. So Lamar Odom was the one who came on early when we couldn't really get people. He was kind enough to come on and do it season one, because it was not easy to get cameos early on, but it started getting easier as we grew.
So it was like automatic afterwards. Like when you guys would go out after, let's say the third season, would athletes be like, hey, yo, can I come on your show? Can I come on your show?
All the time. Yeah. And I would try to put them on, when they asked me, so, and honestly, it's getting like that with the podcast. It's almost like the podcast feels like the same trajectory as Entourage. And so far we've had Julius Randle, DK Metcalf, Andrew Whitworth. I know I'm forgetting somebody, but we're starting to get the athletes who are listening to the show now, and a lot of people listen to it and they're like, it feels like an episode, because it's basically just your boys hanging out. So it's been a lot of fun.
Tell me the story with Mark Teixeira. How'd you get that guy on the show?
Oh, I forgot about Mark on the show. Mark, God, I don't even remember how I got Mark, but Mark was so great. Mark got, which you'll be jealous, Eddie. I mean, got us Yankee Stadium, and like called up whoever, and I think Randy Levine, and got us like access to use Yankee Stadium. So I had complete control of Yankee Stadium for like 5 hours with all of my high school friends, and their kids were there. My kids were there, and it was one of the most amazing days. So Tex was amazing, and brought A-Rod with him, which was cool. So
now let me tell you something. The Yankees are very strict when it comes to shooting, like in their park. I mean, there's so much shit that you have to go through. So if Teixeira got that shit done, he's clutch right there.
Yeah, we did not go through anything except for Mark going, it's all good. And we showed up, and they couldn't have been better with us. So
I'll tell you a story with Kevin Costner when I met him, and had like a 5-minute conversation with him. And I said, hey, I know you have a Steinbrenner story for the movie For the Love of the Game. Did he say anything like, he's like, oh, I got a good one for you. He goes, when Steinbrenner read the script, he's like, oh, wait, Kevin, you guys want to film in my stadium and you pitch a perfect game? He's like, yes, but you guys are going to make the playoffs. We're not. He's like, I'll think about it, because he don't like losing. That's how Steinbrenner is.
Did he let him in? I mean, I don't remember.
No. He that was the pitch in the beginning. Kevin Costner talked to him about that. And then when Steinbrenner read the script, he's like, well, wait a minute. How can you want to pitch a perfect game in my stadium? And then Costner tells him, listen, you guys are going to playoffs.
Yeah, no, I get it. What movie was this?
For the Love of the Game, remember?
Oh, For the Love of the Game. Yeah. You know what? I forgot about that movie. I was thinking Field of Dreams or something.
No.
Yeah, so I don't know. Obviously, George is not around, wasn't around for us, but Hal, whoever, they were so great. It was such an amazing day, and it was like 100. It was honestly like 100 degrees out, and Tex sat there and signed autographs and took pictures with every one of my friends and their kids. And then he went out. I think he hit 2 home runs. I know he hit 1, but I think he hit 2. And I was having a heat stroke. I could not move the entire night. And I was like, I can't believe he just played a baseball game after that, because he was in the sun with us the whole time.
So you guys probably came early, right? You came to the park
before the game, yeah.
Oh, okay. So you guys are like 9 a.m. because those guys start BP like at 4 p.m. or 3 p.m.
We were probably closer to 6 a.m., but I don't remember the exact time. But yeah, usually we're on location by 6, 7 a.m.
Doug, what's the objective with the Victory podcast? Like, what's your goal afterwards?
Goal?
Yeah.
I mean, there was no goal. I mean, Kevin Connolly asked me to do it. I said, let's see if we have fun, and it's just been great. I didn't expect it to turn into a moneymaker, which it has, and now live shows, and the kind of reinvigoration of Entourage. I think, at some point, I'm pretty sure that they're going to come and want to do the reboot now. I mean, because the podcast is doing so well, but I'm just having a great time with it. I like talking far more than I like writing. It's a just more enjoyable thing to do. So, but there's no real goal for it, but we're just having a good time doing it.
Nah, I really enjoy it because you guys are like just shooting the shit. It kind of reminds me of my friends, just talking smack, going
Right.
back and forth, rag on each other. But it's with love, you know what I mean? It's not, oh my God, he said this, you know what I mean?
New Yorkers.
Yeah, yeah. And Doug, with the Victory podcast, you have actually another podcast, right, that you're involved with?
Yep, I just started this new one with Breezy. It's called Hollywood Ways with Breezy, who's on All American. It was on Empire, and she's a rapper as well. And we're watching our favorite movies, talking about them, talking about our journeys in Hollywood. And it's been a fun start. So, and it totally different perspectives. She's a 34-year-old African American woman, and it's just complete different perspectives in how we got here and how we can hopefully help other people who want to get into the business. So.
Doug, oh shit, I just had this thought. Fuck. With James Caan's son, what made you cast him? Like, how did that happen?
Scott, who's one of my good friends, I just love him. We wanted to get him on for a long time, but I actually had a couple of roles for him in the before that I want to get, but he's just that good.
Yeah.
And I'm actually sitting right now in this is James Caan's old house. So I bought this house from James Caan. So,
Oh, nice. The Entourage House, where was that exactly? In
I mean, we had 5 or 6 houses, so they switched almost every year. But first year, a couple of them were in Hollywood and Encino, up in the hills, different areas.
And what about the dog? How many Rottweilers did you have?
At least 4 or 5, yeah.
Oh wow! Holy shit!
Yeah, yeah.
But that scene with in the pilot when Adrian was like, "Yeah, I want to see what this dog is all about," and then he attacks Jerry. Was that like a trained dog? Like, how did you create that?
Of course.
Shit? Yeah.
Of course, it's a trained dog.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was like,
but those there are that was again based on me. I had a Shih trained German Shepherd, which like they're trained. They're not attacking. They grab the sleeve. They're playing. Although it looks vicious and stuff. But I've done that with my old German Shepherds and stuff. And the second they get a release, they release just like it's a ball. There's no So the amazing training what you can do with the dog. So.
and then what made you create Johnny Drama's character as far as the calves? He's got bony calves. Is that related to your calves? Because Doug, let me tell you, hold on a minute, Doug. Let me tell you something. I got bony calves, and all my friends make fun of me. And
I was on a trip in Hawaii with my wife. I don't remember exactly how it came out, but something she said, I was like, oh, that's a great drama story. And Kevin Dillon's actually got huge calves. So when I gave him that script, he was like, what is this? I'm like, it's not you, Kevin. It's the character. And he was great and played it. And it's been this thing. I mean, we did this live show at the Brea Improv a month ago, and people had Kevin Dillon signing their calves. It was fucking bizarre. So,
did you ever see any fans like tattoo themselves with any characters?
I have. I get DMs all the time. I don't know if they're permanent or not, but I've seen dozens and dozens of tattoos from Drama to Ari, Turtles. I mean, I've seen them all. No E's though.
Huh?
No, I never saw an E tattoo actually.
Now, with Kevin Conley's character, it's based on Eric Weinstein?
Not really. I mean, the name E is from there, and Eric, he was on the podcast, but all of it was like kind of loosely inspired by Mark, Lev, etc. So the E character kind of became, he kind of had Lev's job and my personality. That's kind of the meld.
Okay.
But Eric Weinstein, who was in the pilot also, there was a lot of overall vibes of things that I got from him and from the real Johnny Drama and some others that came into it.
Now, I heard the real Johnny Drama, he's really into fitness, right?
Yeah, I mean...
Like he's a health freak?
I mean, I haven't seen him in years, but he had a 12-pack back in the day. I mean, like, just ripped to shreds and, funny fucking guy. And he's on, he's on Wahlberg's reality show, so you can see him. But
and that's Ari's right-hand man, like one of his great friends, the real Ari?
They used to be. I have no idea. I haven't spoken to either of them in years.
Really? Not even Ari
Yeah,
Emanuel?
I have not. No. I
So
mean, when I see him, I speak to him, but he's not my
right.
agent, so I don't speak to him.
So you're with who? With CAA now?
I am with nobody right now. I am on my own. I
Doug
am
Ellin
all.
is not represented?
I do not want to be, and I don't need to be. So I sold 3 shows this year without agents and got 2 podcasts. I don't see any reason for it at the moment. So we'll see if things
Wow,
change.
that's awesome. Is the
Yeah.
relationship like, whatever, you drop me, whatever, I don't care, right? That's how it is?
Nobody dropped me. I dropped them, but I'm
Oh, you dropped
saying
him. Okay.
I'm saying there's really no reason at this point that I see for it. It's just a very different world where people can connect without agencies. So they're really a middleman. And I think, you see what agencies are now. They're more about content creation and building brands than they are about representing clients. So um, it just is not something I need at the moment.
But when you say building brands, is it because whoever has the most Instagram followers like that?
No, I mean like they deal with giant brands now with Coca-Cola and Mercedes and Ari bought the UFC and bought, I mean they're dealing
Yeah,
with much
yeah.
bigger things than dealing with, writers and actors and things like that. So
Wow, unbelievable. Doug, I mean, listen, you had a great career. I mean, you should be proud. Look at you.
I'm I'm very proud.
I mean,
And
like,
it's far from over. I'm feeling
no,
really
I
good.
know.
I'm actually feeling the best I have in a long time. I'm feeling things are going very well right now. So
Doug, what about the soccer, about a soccer player, that entourage?
football. We don't
Oh,
call that soccer. Football is
my
what it's
bad.
called. So it's Thierry Henry. Again, similar to the show I did with Mike Tyson, similar to the show I did with Mark Wahlberg. It's loosely inspired by Thierry's life. Real inside look at Premier football. Ted Lasso is obviously a very successful show set in that world, but totally different tone than that. And we'll see. We'll see where that goes.
Doug, when it comes to comedy, do you expect like rhythm? You have to be quick? Or is it a lot of
Uh,
timing?
I mean, of course, timing is everything in comedy, but I don't know. Quick, I'm usually, I don't know. I mean, I don't have a rule like quick. I'm usually trying to keep things sped up as much as possible, but what's funny is funny.
Well, you know what I believe in. The more serious you are, the funnier it is.
Could be,
Right?
or it could be
look,
less,
look,
I
look
mean,
at.
it depends what it is. I mean, I think each thing it works in different ways. I mean, Jim Carrey can be not serious and be really funny, and some people, Robert De Niro could be really serious and funny. So I think it's different for different things.
All right, so you got this live event in Long Island, Huntington,
November 20th.
November 20th. Is it night, day?
This is night, Paramount Theater. I think it's Friday night.
Well, you know what, Doug? I will be there.
I like it. Good,
We'll,
good. Bring 100 friends.
we'll spread the word. How much is a ticket, by the way, so I could tell them, yo, cough up your wallets, bitches.
I think it's like $40. It's
Oh,
it,
that's
it'll
nothing.
be it'll be a fun show. We're not overcharging, and it'll be a lot of fun. The one at Brea, I think, it should be on YouTube now. You can see it, but it was a great time.
Are you gonna now? How did you get involved with that? Like the people offer you, say, "Hey, we would love to have you in our theater. Please come. We'll take care of everything."
Yeah, I mean, we got a call, which I thought was fucking crazy. I'm like, what are we gonna do? And when we got out at the Brea Improv, and the crowd they really knew the podcast, which was wild. 'Cause as much as they knew Entourage, they knew all the references from what was going on the podcast, because we basically tell stories in similar ways to episodes went out. So it was very cool. Now this theater in Long Island is much bigger than the one in Brea, California. So we got to get our asses out there and hustle and promote it, because it's a different thing to get people to download a podcast or watch an episode on TV in their couch to get them to get off their ass and go to a show. So, but it'll be fun.
Well, you know what? Since I live in Queens, Forest Hills right now, I got a Tesla. I don't have to worry about gas. I just go.
Perfect.
You
There
know
you
what I
go.
mean?
You got no excuses, and you got room for 3 others in there. So get them all in there. Get your tickets. Get your tickets today. Don't fucking hold off.
Now, how do people get the tickets? They go to your Instagram.
Well, it's
The
on my Instagram. It's in the link, but the Paramount, it's the Paramount Theater in Huntington, November 20th. But yeah, the link is in my Instagram page and the Victory the podcast page as well. Kevin Connolly's page and Dylan's. Hopefully, if he can figure out how to edit his Instagram profile.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think Dylan's really good with. He's a computer savvy. I don't think he's that guy, right?
Neither of them are that into the whole social media stuff. So
All right. So the biggest question is, how come Adrian Grenier is not on your show, on the
I
podcast?
don't. You'd have to ask him. I have absolutely no idea. It's very surprising to me as well.
Holy shit, Doug.
Yeah, I mean, there's no revelation.
I mean, but I'm
Huh?
just saying, like, doesn't that show loyalty? Like, you guys were tight.
I don't have any opinion on it whatsoever. It is what it is. I have no idea why he's not on it. I'm not looking for loyalty. I'm not looking for anything. We've been friends a long time. I'm surprised he doesn't want to do it, but you'd have to ask him why he doesn't want to.
So, Doug, how did you get a guest on your show? Now, I mean, for now people are just emailing you or texting you, "Hey, Doug, I'd love to be on your podcast," right?
Yeah. Yeah. So how did we get the first ones?
Yeah.
That was tough. I mean, my first one was Piven. I texted him. He told me he'll circle back with me. So, it's never easy with a startup. So you got to grind and start somewhere. And honestly, on the new podcast, that's how I am now. I mean, we just started, and as you know, to me, the most important thing about a podcast is the hosts. Like those people first, and then bring guests, because just bringing guests is not going to make it work, because
Oh.
it just gets boring if it's just not about that person's POV. So we started building it, and we did victories. I think we're going to hit 8 million downloads, and we're at about 15 months now. So if you would have told any of us that a year and a half ago, we would have been shocked. It was a fun thing to do during the pandemic. I had this show that was supposed to go in London. All of a sudden, the whole world shut down. So it was an unexpected thing, and it's just been working great, and we're having fun doing it. So that's the best thing you can say.
See, like with me, I'm busting my ass because I'm a nobody, and I'm like, fuck, man, But you're my 45th guest, so I'm
But
happy.
like I said, to me, the guests aren't going to sell it. You got to make sure that people want to listen to you, whether you have me on or nobody on. And that's
Right.
what I'm trying to do with the new podcast, getting people to listen to me and Breezy. And then probably 15, 20 episodes in, we'll start bringing guests on, but not every week. In Victory, we don't bring guests every week either. I want people to tune in because they want to listen to me, Dylan, and Connolly. And if they don't, they're not going to be interested just because we brought in a guest that they like. So,
Right.
it's a grind, but it's a grind for everybody. It's just what it is. But the fact is, you're able to do this now, which 10 years ago, there's no way you could have done this. So
No.
it's a great opportunity, and you just got to keep going at it.
And with your guests, they all come to the studio, right? At
We
the
try to get them all. We've done a couple of Zooms, but I'm not a fan of it. I like to get them in front of me and interacting. So we try to do that as much as we can. We just like I said, we just had Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns on, commemorating their 40th anniversary of their fight. I mean, so I wouldn't want to Zoom with them. I wanted them in the studio, and we figured it out. We worked it around, and it was pretty great. And since I remember watching that fight when I was 13 years old, and I still can really remember it, is to have them sit down and talk to us was awesome. So
Doug, at Dodger Stadium, when you guys threw out the first pitch, not you, but the cast, were they nervous as shit before it started? Were they like, "Yo, I'm gonna fuck up with the cast"? Any of them?
I mean, they go the other ways. I'm gonna fucking throw a curveball, or I'm gonna break this, the speedometer. But yeah, I don't know about Adrian. I know Connolly and Dylan and Jerry feel pretty good about their arms, so they were excited. I think I got to throw out one at Scranton AAA.
Oh yeah.
My friend owns the Rail Riders, so I went out there and threw that out. And it's definitely. I mean, obviously Dodger Stadium would be a whole other thing, but it's definitely nerve wracking because you can make the throw pretty easily, but you don't want to fuck up like Conor McGregor just did the other day, or I'm trying 50 Cent did. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones, but it's definitely nerve wracking.
Did anybody tease you guys like, "Don't fuck it up" to the cast at Dodger Stadium?
I mean, I don't think so, because they don't want you to look stupid. They
Right.
would prefer that the crowd gets into it and feels good about it. But I think I don't know. I think they hit their targets, as I remember. I'm not sure though.
Was it against the Yankees?
It was against the Yankees. Yeah.
Yeah, because they were in town. Yeah.
Yep.
You know what? Because in 2001, when the 9/11 year, Jeter told George Bush, "You better throw a strike, or else they're gonna boo you." Just like
Yeah.
that, right before.
Well,
So
2001 was when my son was born, 9 days before 9/11. And you can look that day up because Mike Mussina's on the mound with a perfect game with 2 outs into the ninth. And I'm holding my son
Wait,
was
at Fenway?
hour old. I believe it was at Fenway, and I'm like talking to my son. I'm like, you may never see this again in your life, and a fucking base hit,
Yeah,
2 outs in the ninth.
Carl Everett. I remember that shit.
Was
Yeah, yeah. Carl, you like, damn it.
still haunts me.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Listen, Doug, it's been a pleasure, man. Thanks for the opportunity.
Absolutely,
I've
and good
been,
luck with everything.
but I need you real quick. Let me just come off to stay here. So Doug Ellin, November 20th, Victory Podcast, going to the Paramount Theater in Huntington, Long Island. Is it a Friday or Saturday, Doug? What is that, the 20th?
I think it's a Friday. I'm not positive, but November 20th.
Make sure you guys go. You're going to have a lot of fun. And is there anything, are you guys going to just, it's like an episode? That's what you're going to do there?
We do a whole talking and multimedia thing. It's a lot of fun. Like listening to these guys, we take questions, but it's just a good hang. We have some drinks and we tell stories about all of our friendships and how we met and our careers, and it's a good time.
All right. Well, this is Doug Ellin, baby. Thank you so much. Don't go anywhere, Doug. I'm going to end it right here. Hold on.